Hello, guys. Hope you're doing well. This is TJ, and you're listening to Beyond the Ring podcast. And welcome to my review of this week's NXT UK show. This show was a pretty good show. Wrestling was good. The next week is a big week for NXT UK because a big match is set up for next week, which is a triple threat match between Iljadragunov, Joe Coffey, and Rampagebrown, which we have been expecting for 2 weeks now, and that's finally confirmed for next week. They didn't say it's a number one contendership match, but I highly doubt that is gonna be for this. The next challenger, whoever wins, would be for the Walter NXT UK championship, and I want to see. I mean, after that prelude show, we haven't seen defense, title defense from Walter. So pretty excited for that. So my prediction would be like I want Rampage round because I want to see that big behemoths fighting off, and this would be a great match. Rampage Brown versus Walter. And second, I would say if they want to pick, if I want to pick, I would say Joe Coffey. I mean, definitely people will not say Dear Dragon because we have seen that, and we have seen multiple matches of them. So I think that they just to spice things up, they have done this triple threat match just to have fun. So could be a great match next week. So excited about that. So talking about this week's show, as I said, pretty good show. We actually opened with Wolfgang versus Sam Gradwell, a good opener where we see Sam Gradwell actually having an upper hand in the most of the initial minutes of the match because he was having his kind of mat-based wrestling, and he was trying to control this big man with a side lock, side headlock, wrist lock, and we also saw Wolfgang was trying to fighting back, but Gradwell actually was controlling him, take to the corners, and he was trip up from the top and stop as Gradwell actually knocked him to the floor then, and a flying clothesline off the apron, and that get a one count, and then we saw a good control for the big man by Bull by Gradwell by using the Cobra clutch. That was good, and Gradwell then caught with him a back body drop. That was good, and finally actually Wolfgang tried to get him back because he fought back, hitting the leaping splash into the corner before landing a double sledge off the top. And Gradwell actually then goes to kind of a defensive style because he wasn't trying. He was trying, but Wolfgang was getting the upper hand after this, and he takes a suplex slam for 2 count, and he also takes a STO. But couldn't capitalize on that. Gradwell actually had the STO but couldn't capitalize on that because his ribs was damaged because that was a very great storytelling because last match he had with Rampage Brown, he really did damage his ribs. So that story actually played out, and before he also took a huge kind of powerbomb kind of thing, the powerbomb, and that actually hit his lower back. So that was kind of a storyline there, and Wolfgang actually responds by knocking Gradwell to the outside and then we saw in the headbutt by Wolfgang, and followed by a slingshotted kind of a maneuver back into the ring for a spear, kind of a spear, not a spear, kind of a tack, kind of a throw down into the mat, kind of a driving into the mat, picking up and driving to the mat. So that's a win. So a good match, good opener. So I mean, nothing to say about a good match right there. And then we saw Kenny Williams promo, and he's he was just roaming around. That was just it. And we saw video package of Maiko winning the title last week, and Raquel Gonzalez, Zaya Brookside, Dakota Kai, Ember Moon, Amel, and Beth Phoenix had all their views. And Amel actually said she wanted the title shot, her first shot, and Maiko accusing her taking her spot. So maybe we could get Amel, and she had a good performance as well in that gauntlet match. So that's it. And then we get to the next segment. The segments were good here, not much time they've taken, but some were kind of just there. And backstage we saw Subculture, Ginny and Joseph Connors kind of trash talking, and Pretty Deadly come out, and they kind of wander in, and they kind of something said, and that's it, kind of there. And then we saw second matchup, which was Danny Jones versus Kenny Williams, and this was a new guy, Danny Jones, I think so. And Kelly Williams actually was very good here, as expected. Danny Jones, Kenny Williams with his speed advantage, and they also said about Amir Jordan, because he was the one who actually take him out of the NXT UK brand. So we could expect, maybe we could expect a kind of coming back to NXT UK. So at the initial moment of the match, we saw side headlock from Williams. He's pushed over and kicked out by Jones, and Jones catch Williams, but can't do much as he goes to the outside and pulls Jones onto the rope. So the experience advantage was being shown here, Kelly Williams. But Jones had a very good performance here, but Williams actually catches him with a that rope. He drives the wreck into the rope, and he eventually gets the offenses, and he storms Jones and crossface punches in the rope, and drop kick onto the ropes as well, we saw. And eventually Jones escaped to hit an enziguri after a point of time, and Williams actually had a big boot and took Williams down with a clothesline. And finally we saw William cuts him with a chop block to the knee. So kind of a very heelish move that right there. So he was unable to put out his speed advantage on Kenny Williams' experience, and he swiftly put Jones away with a headlock driver. And this was a fun squash match. And then we get to the next week matchup confirmed: Iljadragunov versus Joe Coffey versus Rampage Brown. This is maybe they didn't say number one contendership, kind of a top contenders match they said about. And then we saw a sit down kind of three very calm interview, not an interview, calm discussion right there. And Joe Coffey and Rampage Brown is kind of pissed of Ilya Dragunov sticking to their business, because he already did, and he can't do. He's already proved that can't do. But he says that he's one of the best and he can take it over. And if when I come into the ring, I would show that. And kind of in the last we saw kind of having an aggressive thing. They talk about their upbringings, which makes how everyone got that default character in the early days of NXT UK tournament. Joe Rampage tried to get under Ilya's skin by hinting he's not what he used to be. And Mark Coffey. Then we got to the next segment, which we saw Mark Coffey in the UK Performance Center being interviewed. He kinds of finds Shaz Samuels, and he picks some mocks him up, and Coffey mocks Shaz mannerisms, and that's leading to a match next week, kind of. So very okay and kind of average segment there. This was not a good segment just to have a match. They just mocked. So I don't like this kind of storyline just to have a match. I mean, that was it. But the sit-down interview was as calm and that was good. So it would be a very great match next week. So finally a big match coming next week for in NXT UK. And then we get to the Supernova sessions, and Supernova session, the guest that was being trying to get into was Jordan Devlin, and Jordan Devlin's the guest. And this was a good segment, and this wasn't kind of what Noam Dar does all the time. He mocks his guest, and he having a match every next week. And this was not like that. He gives a good he gives us a new kind of picture and a shirt, and is kind of a new shirt that he's been having for 5 years, and for making it. And this was a good. And Dar actually presents Devlin with a shirt, and they joke about how America sucks, and his run with Cruiserweight Championship. And Dar actually is kind of wasn't that liking that he didn't brought about the Cruiserweight Championship to NXT UK. So, but Jordan Devlin is confident that when he goes back to States, he will get that Cruiserweight Championship, as he says. And then let Devlin drop some news. He's back and isn't going to be hard to find. And Devlin, in in a manner, demanded this segment to say that he's going to take that title. So okay, I mean, a good segment right there. So they are having, as I said in past reviews as well, they are having kind of the entertainment stuff as well in the shows. So I mean, that's I don't like that much, but still it's a good try by Noam Dar, Supernova Sessions. And back in the PC again, Dave Mastin is watching from sparring between Tyler Bate and Jack Stars doing, and Tyler Bate actually Dave Mastin comes up to Jack Stars, and then Tyler Bate actually tells to Jack Stars that he's impressed he's impressed apparently and with Stars, and he offers him a Heritage Cup, but Stars kind of he appreciates it, he says, but he kind of rejects it, and maybe but he says, if you want to change this, man, always ready, as Tyler Bate says that. And then Mr. Mastic said, why didn't you reject the opportunity that you got? I don't know, if I get the opportunity, I would surely be hitting that thing. So Nathan Fraser versus Rohan Raja. This was the third match, and Jack Stars had that confidence issue because and we also saw his alignment with Piper Niven. She was giving confidence, so it's kind of a confidence kind of lost from him. So that's the reason. That's a story, little story that there, I think so. And the third match we get to was Nathan Fraser versus Rohan Raja, and this was a good match as well. Rohan Raja and Nathan Fraser. We saw Rohan Raja's past because Tio Man actually with the crossface, he actually that was so bad, man. I mean, that actually that sound actually was so bad to listen, and he's back in injury at the hands of Tioman a few weeks ago. And Raja's Rohan Raja was good here. They had a back and forth match. Nathan Fraser was very fast here, and we cannot took away the speed of Rohan Raja as well. He was also good here. In the initial moment, we saw Sling Blade from Fraser, springboard from Raja with a big black hole slam, and a wheelbarrow roll up from Fraser as well. And but Raja's right back with a drop kick for a 2 count, and then we saw Raja hitting a fly forearm, that was good. And then we saw Fraser finally lands on his feet, reposition himself, and then hits a standing moonsault. Raja pulled him into a cross arm bar, and Fraser managed to roll free but runs into a sky high for a 2 count. And another turnaround sees Fraser score a twisting suplex for a 2 count. That was good. Before the eye of the Hurricane landed, he can't make the cover at first, so he rolls to the outside. And Fraser fought free, knocking Raja down before going back up top again. And Fraser caught, but he headbutts Raja down and finished him with a frog splash with a win. And good match right there, nothing to say wrong about. I enjoyed this match. This was a very high paced, fast paced match. Nathan Fraser is always good to watch. And like we have seen this match with Noam, that was good. So good match right there, solid match. And then we saw kind of an eye pops on the video wall after the match, and commentators say, is this Tio Man? I don't know who it was, but he didn't come out. And Jordan Devlin, next segment, was being interviewed. He despises the media, and A-Kids apparently walked into his dressing room, so he didn't like it. So they are kind of having to looking for a match. Jordan Devlin is looking for a match after retaining his second match. So they're just there, right there, just to have matches for next week or so. Kind of a small layoff there to be having a match for next week. So next week into the main event. I wasn't that excited. This was a mixed tag team match. Flash Morgan Webster and Danny Luna versus Ginny and Joseph Connors. Four of them were very good performers. Subculture, Flash Morgan Webster and Danny Luna, and they actually comes out with Mark Andrews, and Genie and Joseph Connors comes out, and they actually starts off pretty deadly on the commentary. So I didn't know why they were in the commentary, because this is not a kind of tag team. This is a kind of a mixed tag team. So don't know why they were. So maybe Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews are getting the tag team championship contenders as well. So this was a very good match. I mean, surprisingly, this was a good match. I mean, I enjoyed this match. Not a level of great match or very 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 good match. I mean, but still a fun match, a fun, solid, good action right there. And Connors and Ginny has their usual shenanigans, and their tactics and their heel tactics are kind of distraction that played out. And the power moves of Danny Luna was great here. And Flash Morgan Webster and Joseph Connors was also very good here. Flash Morgan Webster's speed advantage was the main highlight of this match, where he was taking out Joseph Connors. That was the story of this match. We saw multiple knee drops. We also explored a suplex from Ginny as well, and then we saw some stomping as well by Luna to the corner, octopus stretch by. So Luna was when Luna was tagged in. Ginny was tagged in. Ginny was kind of slowing down the match with. Taking out kind of October stretch submission, kind of having the submission victory, and she was kind of slowly picking apart her, but she actually escaped that, and then we saw. Luna actually tags back in to help Webster for a back body drop into corners on the floor. Webster running the knee took out corners to spark a parade of moves, and in the end we saw Benny Hill chased to distract the referee. Ref with Luna breaking free to powerbomb corners out of the corner, allowing Webster to snatch the victory. Kind of a heel tactic right there by Babyface, because ref didn't see it, and Danny Luna. But still, Ginny was trying it, so that's kind of a that we not see. We don't say that it's a heel tactic because Ginny was trying, but Ginny was then talking with ref, and that creates an opportunity for Danny Luna, and she uses that, and that power bomb then from the top rope, and then the 630, and that ends, and Subculture wins this match. And I actually missed out a moment of this match where. Danny Luna actually, Ginny actually hit Flash Morgan Webster, and Luna actually hits then Ginny, and then also hits Joseph Connors as well. That was a good moment here, kind of a mixed moment there. Mixed acting rules ruled out, and that was a good. So good match, I would say, good main event. Solid show. I mean, nothing to say about. They laid out for next week show as well, and we are waiting for the next week show and big main event, the triple threat match. Iljadragunov, Rampagebrown, and Joe Coffey, and certainly Walter's next challenger is coming, and. I want to see the title change this time around. I mean, he's been for champion for so long. I mean, certainly Walter should come to main roster now, or maybe to NXT as well, because Imperium is now right now in NXT. So maybe he can come to NXT, and then down the line when they make the draft or something, he can be traded to Raw or SmackDown, because there's major missing. The big guys are not there in the main roster, because Braun Strowman, Big Show, and Big Show. I mean, he's already has the age, but all are gone. Kind of, if you see. Last Carnival as well, he's also gone. So that's my view of this show. Pretty long. I mean, it's a kind of 18 minutes that's getting the show. So I'm ending the show. So this was a show. I hope you liked it. Please make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content like this. And I will see you guys in the next one, guys. Until then, be safe, stay energetic. Peace.